Good morning. Are you Joseph Roberts?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning. This is 20-34226. Mr. Roberts, looks like you were on probation for the felony offense of driving while intoxicated, and that you were placed on probation November 30th of 2020. That was a 7-year term in prison that was probated for 7 years. Some of the allegations, it looks like there is an additional driving while intoxicated charge from April 26th of 2026. Curfew issue, operating a vehicle without an ignition interlock device, and then some minor fees. Mr. Nix has filed a motion asking that I set bond in your cases. Currently, there is no bond. He's also handed me, it looks like there was a 30-day treatment at Level Up Treatment, Texas. That you went to April 26th through May 29th of this year. Mr. Robert, especially you, and raise your right hand, please, sir. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Mr. Nix?
Your Honor, we'd ask that the court set a reasonable bond. My client's willing to forfeit his right to drive. He would wear a scram device, comply with any curfew set by the court. As the court can see, he did not have any issues on the probation for several years until he picked up this new offense. It was not his vehicle. There were several other occupants in the vehicle, which would explain why he wasn't complying with the interlock device. He obviously knows that he made a pretty terrible mistake, and if the court will acknowledge, just 3 days after his arrest, he voluntarily did a month of inpatient rehabilitation. Also, I'd like the court to take knowledge of, and although I didn't put it in my motion, I think we made the court aware with the district attorney. His daughter was brutally murdered about 10 days ago now, somewhere around there.
2 weeks.
About 2 weeks ago. Her
Good morning.
daughter's,
Are you
his
Joseph
daughter's
Roberts?
funeral is this
Good
Saturday.
morning. This is
She was the victim of one of our
20-34226.
homicides here
Mr.
in Beaumont out of
Roberts,
a domestic violence situation with what appears to
looks
be a
like you were on
boyfriend or
probation for the
ex-boyfriend.
felony offense
He'd
of
like to,
driving while
be obviously
intoxicated,
on
and
bail
that
so
you
that
were
he can
placed on
attend his
probation
daughter's
November
funeral.
30th of 2020.
He would adhere
That
to
was a
any
7-year term in prison that was probated for
recommendations,
7 years.
anything that the court
Some of the
requires of him of
allegations,
his
it looks
bond.
like there is an
He's
additional
also
driving while
just been
intoxicated
accepted
charge
into
from
an
April
IOP
26th of
program
2026.
where he will be doing counseling,
Curfew
therapy
issue,
for alcohol, substance
operating a
abuse.
vehicle without an
As part of
ignition
that
interlock
program, they do
device, and then
random alcohol
some
and
minor
drug
fees.
tests.
Mr. Nix has
This is something
filed
that his
a
insurance offered him after
motion
finding out
asking that
about
I
his
set
daughter.
bond in
So
your cases.
not
Currently,
exactly
there is no
related to the
bond.
DWI, but it's related to
He's
finding out
also
that his daughter
handed
was
me, it
murdered
looks
and the
like
way
there
she was
was
murdered.
a
He's taking advantage of that. Obviously, he
30-day
doesn't want to have
treatment
an
at
episode
Level
where he
Up
falls
Treatment,
off, given what
Texas.
his family's going through. He is not
That
the
you
sole
went
provider
to
of his family, but he is the main
April
provider of his
26th
family.
through May
They have
29th
two
of
homes,
this
one
year.
home that they live in, another home that
Mr.
they haven't been able to sell, so
Robert,
they have
especially
two
you, and raise your
mortgages
right
to
hand,
pay
please, sir. Do
for
you
and
swear or
bills.
affirm the
Is that
testimony you're
correct?
going to give in
Yes,
this
sir.
hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the
And
truth?
right now I'd
Yes.
ask if
All right, thank
Mr.
you.
Roberts
Mr. Nix?
can
Your Honor,
give
we'd ask
more
that the court
details
set
to
a
the
reasonable
IOP
bond.
than I might
My
be
client's
able
willing
explain
to
the judge.
forfeit his
What's
right
the
to
name of it, or
drive.
where
He
is
would
it?
wear a
What's it
scram
through?
device, comply with any
Trust Help.
curfew set by the court.
Trust.
As the
Trust.
court can see,
Trust.
he did not have any issues on the
We do,
probation for several years
3-hour
until he picked up
sessions,
this new
3 days
offense.
a week.
Is it
It
on?
was not
Is
his
it on
vehicle.
bond?
There were
do
several
virtual.
other
I do
occupants in
virtual.
the
Yes, ma'am.
vehicle, which would explain why he wasn't
They do the
complying
random
with the
drug
interlock
screening
device. He
once a week,
obviously
and we
knows
get
that
a
he made
therapy
a
session
pretty
with
terrible
counseling.
mistake, and
Also,
if the court will acknowledge, just 3 days after his arrest,
How do
he
you do your
voluntarily
random drug
did
screening?
a month
they
of
send an
inpatient
Uber
rehabilitation.
and bring me to
Also,
down
I'd
at
like the court to
West
take knowledge of, and although I
Left
didn't put it in my motion,
So have you already
I
done
think
one of
we
those?
made
I have one
the
set
court
up for
aware with the
tomorrow.
district attorney. His daughter was
Where
brutally
do you work?
murdered
There you go.
about
with
10
Death
days
Row.
ago now, somewhere around there,
Environmental safety and
about 2 weeks ago. Her daughter's his daughter's funeral is this Saturday. She was the victim of
So
one of
if
our
you're-
homicides here in
how would you
Beaumont
get to
out of
and
a
from
domestic
work and
violence
things like that if
situation
you're
with
when you
what
drive?
appears to be
Yeah,
a
my nephew
boyfriend or
also works out there,
ex-boyfriend.
same shift.
He'd like
so I
to,
can
be
drive
obviously on bail so that he can attend his daughter's funeral. He would adhere
Just for
to
the
any,
record, I am reviewing the court's
recommendations,
file.
anything that the
and
court
part of that
requires
does
of him of his
include
bond. He's
The
also
probable cause
just been
affidavit for the
accepted into
new,
an IOP
driving
program,
while intoxicated. I was
where he
looking
will
to
be
see,
doing
but I don't know
counseling,
that it's
not yet been
therapy for
received, Your Honor.
alcohol,
Testing has
substance
not yet been
abuse.
completed.
As part of that
I was
program,
trying to
they
also
do
see, do you have a copy of
random
that previous
alcohol and
precedence
drug
report?
tests.
I had it on my computer earlier. I'm gonna pull it
This is
back up.
something that his
Ours
insurance
didn't,
offered him
because it's
after
an older
finding
case,
out
it's not
about
in
his
here.
daughter. So not exactly related to the DWI,
Okay.
but it's related
Please,
to
ma'am.
finding out that his daughter was murdered and the way she was murdered. He's taking advantage of that. Obviously, he doesn't want to have an episode where he falls off given what his family's going through. He is not the sole provider of his family, but he is the main provider of his family. They have two homes, one home that they live in, another home that they haven't been able to sell. So they have two mortgages to pay for and bills. Is that correct, Mr.
Yes, sir.
And right now I'd ask
I guess
if
an
Mr.
issue that I
Roberts
have that we're gonna have to
can
talk
give
about. So Mr.
more
Roberts
details to
signed
the
a no
IOP, then I
driving
might be able to
agreement
explain
with
to the judge.
probation
What's
March
the name of it, or
19th.
where is it? What's it
And
through?
then
It's
the
Trust
allegations
Health.
are that
Trust.
Trust, TROST.
trust, a
Yes,
month
ma'am.
and a week after
We
is
do,
this, when this happened,
3 hour
he was
sessions,
driving. So he'd
3
already
days a week.
told someone and signed
is
an
it
actual
on-
document
is it
saying
on
he
file?
I do
wasn't going to
virtual.
drive.
I do
So
virtual.
obviously
Yes, ma'am.
the argument of I'm not
Uh,
going to drive gives me some concern
They
because
do the
you've already
random drug screening
been there, done that.
once a week, and we get a therapy session with a counselor also throughout the week.
How do you do your random drug screen?
They send
How
an
many set of
Uber
keys do you
and
have?
bring me to
No, to
West. That's on 9th Avenue. I can have one more.
Have you already done one of those? Or the
I
same
have one
process?
set up for.
We'd be willing to turn over both sets of keys.
What
Where do you
car
work?
is date?
There you go. Fair
With
enough, Judge.
Bethel.
So I'm not saying I'm not going to set it a bond,
Driving
but
in
these
the
are
safety
these
and
are the
health
concerns
representative.
that obviously
For our LNG.
there was something
So
going
if
on
you're-
that I'm not
How
quite
would you
sure
get to
about,
and
but
from
obviously there
work
was
and things
something
like
going
that
on
if you're not going to
for there to
drive?
be a
Yeah,
no
my nephew
motor
also
vehicle
works out there, same shift.
drive form
Yes, ma'am.
signed a
Driving.
month before. So there were some concerns already.
I have,
Just for the record, I
Previous
am
PS
reviewing
Sounds like it's coming
the
as
court's
well
file.
here.
Thank you, Mr.
And-
Nichols. Part of that does include the probable cause affidavit for the new driving while intoxicated. I was looking to see, but I don't know that it's.
it's not yet been received, Your Honor. Testing has not yet been completed.
I was trying to also see. Do you have a copy of that previous precedence report?
I had it on my computer earlier. I'm gonna pull it back up.
Ours didn't, because it's an older case. It's not in here. Mr. Nichols, what's your position?
Judge, I'd
Okay.
reviewed,
Please, ma'am.
Ms. Molfino's email correspondence with the court and with Mr. Nix talking about her position on this case. We are not opposed to a reasonable bond being set. Obviously, we have concerns, same as the court with the driving. I believe a scram will take care of any concerns about substance abuse, but there's just not an easy way to be completely certain about the driving. Given the circumstances, given his willingness to do
I
what
guess
he's
an
already
issue
done,
that I
what he's
have
going
that we're
through,
going to have to talk
that's
about.
why
So
the
Mr.
state
Roberts signed
does
a
agree for
no
reasonable
driving
bond in this case, Your Honor.
agreement with probation March 19th. And then
Okay,
the allegations
so-
are that Mr. Roberts, a month and a week after,
I wanna
this-
make sure
when
you
this
understand
happened,
he was
I'm going to
driving,
set a
so he'd
bond.
already
And if you make that
told
bond, there'll be some
someone
very
and
specific
signed an
conditions.
actual
Some of
document
those
saying
conditions
he
are
wasn't
conditions
going
you
to
already
drive.
have on the
So
probation.
obviously, the
At
argument
this
of I'm
point,
not
I
going to
understand
drive
that you're
gives me
going
some
through
concern
something
because
very
you already-
traumatic in your life. I've been there, done
which
that. Tends to lead for people who have substance abuse or alcohol issues for those to get worse. If you don't take advantage
How many
of this
set of keys do you
opportunity while you're out on bond, I
No
can
keys.
assure
No,
you, you're
oh,
not
just-
going to get any
that's-
opportunity.
I
You're
have
going to be
one
back
more.
in jail and you're going to be looking at
For
going
the
to
same
prison
car?
for the 7
Yes.
years that you've
We'd be
already
willing
agreed
to
to
turn
on that
over both
underlying
sets
case,
of
and who knows
keys.
what
What
on the
driving
other.
this car on
So this is make it or break it
Fair
going
enough,
to
Judge.
prison type
So,
thing. I'm not
even
saying
though
I'm not
it's
going to
just a
set a
bond, do you
bond, but
understand?
these are the concerns that obviously. So what I'm
Um,
going to do is grant the motion.
there was
to set a
something going
bond and
on
cause
that
number
I'm not
20
quite
sure about, but obviously there was something going on
$25,000
for there to be a no
motor vehicle.
I am going to order as a condition
drive
of
form
that
Yes, ma'am.
bond
signed a month
that
before.
you
So there
wear
was
a
some
scram
concerns
device
already.
at all times.
I
If there
have,
is a positive alcohol
previous
screening, I
PS
will know
out.
about it.
Sounds like
There'll
it's
be a
coming
warrant.
as well.
There'll be
Be
no
there.
bond,
Thank
and
you,
we'll
Mr.
be
Nichols.
looking at that 7 years. It's that simple. Also, as a condition of that bond, you are not to drive any vehicle ever. Period, under any circumstance. If you're with people and they're drinking, then you're not the one that drives. Y'all walk, y'all get an Uber, you do something else. You understand? Also, I am going to order as a condition of your bond that you, and really I want it to be a condition of probation as well, to modify your
Nichols, what's your
conditions of the
condition?
probation.
Judge,
you're
I'd
currently
reviewed,
on, to order
Ms.
that you
Malfino's email
can,
correspondence
continue
with the court and
that
Mr. Nix talking
program, the
about her
IOP
position on
through
this case.
Trust
We are not
Health.
opposed to
I
a
want
reasonable
proof
bond being
of
set.
that, verification
Obviously, we
of
have
that, sent to the
concerns, same
probation
as the
officer,
court with
each
the
week or
driving.
whatever you can do. If it's online, you should be able to print something out.
I believe a scram will
To
take
send
care
to
of
them to
any
show
concerns
that
about
you're
substance
you're
abuse,
doing the
but
3 hour
there's just not an easy way to
meetings, as well as
completely
any
certain
drug
about
or
the
alcohol
driving.
screen that you get done. You need to get those results also to your probation
given the
officer.
circumstances, given his
Okay.
willingness to do what he's
So that'll
already
be a
done and what he's
condition of
going
bond
through.
as well as your
That's why the
probation.
state does agree for a reasonable bond in this case, Your Honor.
Any other conditions that I didn't cover?
Those are the ones that I was concerned about. I think that'll
Okay,
cover it.
so,
Okay.
all right, so
Mr.
what we'll
Roberts.
do, if you make that bond, you'll have another court date set. Stay in
I
touch
want to
with
make
Mr.
sure
Nick.
you
He'll let you know when you need to be
understand. I'm
back
going to
here
set
and
a
in
bond,
court.
and if you
And
make that
again,
bond, there'll be
whatever
some
you
very
need to take
specific
care of,
conditions.
some of
To-
those
to
conditions
keep your
yourself,
conditions you
doing the
already have on
right
the
thing, going
probation.
through what you're going through, you
At
need
this
to make
point,
sure and get that
understand that
done.
you're going through
Because being in
something
prison
very
won't help the
traumatic
rest
in
of
your
your
life.
family, which
Okay.
tends
All
to
right.
lead
Good morning. Are you Anthony
for people
Whitmire?
who have substance abuse
And
or
Mr.
alcohol
Rojas, will you
issues for
quiet
those to
with
get
the formal
worse.
reading of the indictment.
If
Mr.
you
Whitmire,
don't
in
take
cause number
advantage of
25,
this
DCCR
opportunity while you're out on
0057,
bond,
you're
I
charged
can
with the
assure
second
you,
degree
you're not going to
felony
get any
offense of
opportunity.
possession of a
You're
controlled
going to be back in
substance
jail
from
and you're going
October
to be looking
12th
at going
of
to prison for the
2024.
7
And how do
years
you
that
plead
you've
to
already
that
agreed to
charge?
on that underlying case.
Are
and
you
who knows
pleading
what on
guilty
the other.
freely and
So
voluntarily?
this is make it or break it going to
And are you
prison
pleading
type
guilty
thing,
because
even
you
though
did
it's
what
just
they
a bond.
charged
Do
you
you
with?
understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I have here on the tablet some documents that have your signature on them.
So
that
what
the
I'm going
state's
to
marked as
do
Exhibit number 1.
is grant the
Before you
motion to
sign
set a
these, did you
bond
go
in
over them
cause
with
number
Mr. Williams?
20-34226.
And do you fully
I'm
understand
going to
them?
set the bond at $25,000.
And do you understand if I follow the agreement
I
that
am
you've
going to
made with
order
the
as a
district attorney
condition
that
of
you'll be
that
waiving or
bond
giving up
that
any
you
right
wear
to
a
appeal?
scram device at all times.
Do you also
If there is
understand if you're not a
positive
U.S.
alcohol
citizen that a plea
screening,
of
I will
guilty
know
or no
about it. There will be a
contest may
warrant.
result
There will
in
be
your
no bond, and we'll
deportation,
be looking at that
exclusion
7
from
years.
admission to the
It's that
country,
simple.
or denial of naturalization
Also,
under
as a
federal law.
condition of that bond, you
State
are
tenders
not
number
to
1.
drive
No
any
objection.
vehicle
It's
ever.
admitted. Is there any
Period,
evidence
under
that
any
Mr. Whitmire's not
circumstance. If
competent?
you're
No,
with
yeah.
people and
All
they're
right, sir, I'm
drinking,
going to
then
find
you're
that you
not the
entered
one
your
that
plea of guilty
drives.
freely
Y'all
and
walk, y'all get an
voluntarily,
Uber, you
find
do
that you're
something
mentally
else.
competent, and you
understand?
understand the nature and the consequences of your
Also,
plea.
I am going to order
Find
as a
sufficient
condition of your
evidence to find
bond
you
that
guilty,
you,
and at this time
and
find you
really, I want
guilty
it to
of
be a
possession
condition
of
of
a controlled
probation as
substance.
well,
Sentence
to
you in
modify your
accordance with
conditions
your
of the
agreement to
probation
term
you're
of 3
currently
years
on.
in the
To
institutional
order that
division of
you
the Texas
can
Department of
continue
Corrections.
that
You will receive
program,
credit
the
on that for
IOP
any
through
time that you've been in
Trust Health.
custody that the law gives you
I
the right
want
to
proof of
receive.
that,
I'm going
verification
to
of
sign a
that sent to your
dismissal as
probation
part of this
officer
plea agreement
each
in
week or
clause
whatever
number
you can do. If it's
25,
online, you should be able to print something out
DCCR
to send to
I've
them to
handed you the
show
trial
that
court
you're
certification that
going,
shows this
you're
was
doing
an
the
agreement that I
3 hour
followed, so you waived your right to appeal.
meetings,
I
as
also
well
handed
as
you
any
a
drug
written
or alcohol
admonishment
screen that you
regarding your
get done. You need to get
ineligibility
those
to
results
possess a
also to your
firearm
probation
or
officer.
ammunition.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So that'll be a condition of bond as well as you're
Just thinking about yesterday, and this is a possession case, so I'm not sure how it
any
applies.
other conditions. that I
But
didn't cover?
Those
possession,
are the
I mean,
ones that I was
because of the
concerned about. I
judgment
think
entered
that'll cover
against
it.
you,
Okay.
you could be
All right,
ineligible to possess a
so
firearm
what we'll
or
do if you
ammunition.
make that bond, you'll have
Possession of
another
a
court date
firearm
set.
or
Stay in
ammunition
touch
could
with
lead to
Mr. Nick.
charges
They'll let you know
against
when you
you.
need to be back
If you
here
have
and
any
in
questions
court.
about the
And
laws that
again,
make you
whatever you need
ineligible
to
to
take
possess
care
a
of
firearm
to
or
keep
ammunition, or
yourself
about
doing
how
the
long
right
that
thing,
lasts,
going
you
through
can
what
talk
you're
with
going
Mr.
through, you
Rojas
need to make
and,
sure and
read
get
that
that done.
document carefully.
Because being in prison won't
You can
help
go
the
back
rest
with
of
the
your
bailiff.
family. Okay, all right.
Good morning. Are you Anthony
Good morning.
Whitmire?
Are you Brendan Ernest?
And Mr. Rojas,
And
will
Mr.
your client
Rojas,
waive
will your
the
client waive the formal reading of the indictment in each case?
Mr. Whitmire, in cause number 25, DCCR 0057, you're charged with the second degree felony offense of possession of a controlled substance from October 12th of 2024. And how do you plead to that charge?
Hey, Mr.
Are you
Ernest,
pleading
in clause
guilty
number
freely and voluntarily?
26,
And are you pleading guilty because you did what they charged you with?
0429, you're charged with the
I have
first
here on
degree
the
felony
tablet some
offense of
documents that have your
aggravated
signature
robbery.
on them that the
And
state's
that's from
marked as
February
exhibit
20th
number
of
1.
2026.
Before you
And how
sign
do you
these,
plead
did
to
you go
that
over them with
charge?
Mr. Rojas? Are
And
you
do you
pleading
fully
guilty
understand
freely and voluntarily?
And do you
understand if I follow follow the agreement
And are you
that you've
pleading
made with
guilty
the
because
district
you
attorney
actually
that
did
you'll
what
be
they
waiving
charged you
or
with?
giving up any right to appeal. Do you also understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that a plea of guilty or no contest may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law? State tenders number 1.
No objection.
It's admitted. Is there any evidence that Mr. Whitmire is not competent?
No, Your Honor.
All right, sir, I'm going to
Clause
find that you
number
entered your plea of guilty
26,
freely and
DCCR
voluntarily. Find that you're mentally
0430.
competent and you understand the nature and the consequences of your plea. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of possession of a controlled
You're
substance.
charged with a
Sentence
third-degree
you in
felony
accordance with
offense
your
of
agreement to a
obstruction
term of
or
3 years in the
retaliation
institutional
from February
division of
12th
Texas
of
Department
2026.
Corrections.
And how do you plead to
You
that
will
charge?
receive credit on that for any time that you've been
Again, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
I'm going
And
to
because you
sign
did what they've
dismissal
charged
as
you
part
with.
of this plea agreement and clause number 25 DCCR 0056. I've handed you the trial court certification that shows this was an agreement that I followed, so you waived your right to appeal. I also handed you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. Just thinking about yesterday, and this is a possession case, so I'm not sure how it applies. But
In cause number
possession,
26,
because of the
DCCR
judgment entered against you,
0908,
you
you're
could
charged
be
with a
ineligible to
second-degree
possess a
felony
firearm
offensive
or
robbery.
ammunition.
And that's for
Possession of a
February
firearm
12th
or
of
ammunition
2020.
could lead to charges against
And how do you
you.
plead to that charge?
If you have any questions about
Again,
the
are you
laws that
pleading
make you
guilty
ineligible
freely
to
and
possess a firearm
voluntarily?
or ammunition, or
And are
about
you
how
pleading
long
guilty
that
because
lasts,
you actually
talked
did
to
what they
Mr.
charged you with?
Read that document carefully.
In all three of
Right,
these
you can go back
cases,
to the
I have
paper.
here on tablets some documents that have your signature
Good morning.
on
Are
them
you
that the
Brendan
state has
Ernest?
marked as exhibit number 1.
And Mr. Rojas, will your
Before
client
you
waive the
sign
formal
these,
reading
did
of
you
the
go over them
indictment
with
in
Mr.
each
Rojas?
case?
He will, Your Honor.
Do you fully understand them? And do you understand if I follow the agreement that you made with the district attorney that you will be waiving or giving up any right to appeal? So you can't
Okay,
change
Mr.
your mind
Ernest,
if I
in
follow
clause
the agreement.
number
You understand?
26.
And it looks like the agreement that
DCCR
you've reached in all of these cases would
you're
be for
charged with the
10-year
first-degree
deferred
felony
probation.
offense of
There
aggravated
would be
robbery,
$500 fines,
and
in
that's
each
from
case.
February 20th
There
of
would be a dismissal in
2026,
cause
and how do
number
you plead to that
26,
charge?
DCCR 0431.
Are you pleading guilty freely
And you would be
and
required to follow
voluntarily?
all the rules and conditions
And
of
are you
probation.
pleading
Is that
guilty
your
because you
understanding?
actually did what they've charged
Do you
you
also
with?
understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that a plea of guilty or no contest may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law? State tenders number 1 in each case.
No objection.
It's admitted in each case. Is there any evidence that Mr. Ernest is not competent?
No, Your Honor.
All right, sir, I'm going to find in each of your
Clause
cases that you
number
entered your pleas of guilty
26,
freely and
DCCR
voluntarily. Find that you're mentally
0430.
competent and you understand the nature and the consequences of your pleas. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty in each case, but I'm going to reset your cases
You're
for
charged
sentencing
with a
so that the
third-degree
probation
felony
department
offense
can
of
do obstruction
obstruction
or
or
retaliation.
That'll give me more
From
information
February
about you
12th
and
of
your cases, and then
2026,
we'll come
and
back
how do
later
you
for
plead to that
sentencing.
charge?
All right, you can go.
Bevor hy goeie stake as sekond aandenk about wat ou jestsaf. Krasai regit. Antristme tes is jeste beginning. If ou enjoy content like it is, maak a sire ou sty vonnet it because it net video mag it be even more soking and ou don't want to miss it. Het dat subscribe button, turn on notifications, and bepart of tes jou nie. Thanks for watching and I'll see you how in the next one.